I don't want to hear anything else about the WNBA surging in popularity. I don't want to hear anything else about the supposed growth surge in the dump. Headline at Sports Media Watch, recapping the WNBA's strong first half as season resumes. Look, this is not a criticism of Sports Media Watch. The guys over there, they do excellent work. They are more than fair and transparent in the reporting of the WNBA. They're not like the rest of the mainstream media who continues putting polish on this rancid turd. But what the headline of that article should have read is, recapping Caitlin Clark's strong first half while the rest of the WNBA remains completely anonymous. Everyone seems to be celebrating right now. The WNBA is celebrating, the mainstream media is celebrating, the television networks are celebrating. The WNBA has doubled its viewership on every network. Just for Men extended their sponsorship deal indefinitely. These women are amazing! Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes! Through the first half of the season, WNBA, they're averaging 1.2 million viewers on ESPN, ABC, and CBS. They're averaging 579,000 on something called ION. And the dump, they're averaging another 214,000 for games broadcast on NBA TV. Now, I know that last number sounds terrible, but that's actually a pretty good number for the WNBA on NBA TV. Historically, ratings for WNBA games on NBA TV, they were so low that they could not be measured. But just like the presidential campaign for pretend Vice President Cam Harris, this success in the WNBA, it is nothing but an illusion. Matter of fact, it reminds me of something that happened to me early on in my career when I was working at Fastenal. Coming out of college, I was one of the top salesmen in the company, but it wasn't because I was good at my job. It wasn't because I was a good salesman. I was terrible. It wasn't because I had elite skills at 23 years old. I just happened to get lucky. A multi-billion-dollar steel mill, it was being built in my territory. Our office, it was located directly across the street from the construction site. So of course, I was one of the top salesmen in the company. What happened once the project was completed and the mill was built? I went right back to being a huge embarrassing failure. Similar situation with the WNBA. This league is the definition of being top heavy. And while the star power of Caitlin Clark is disguising the real problems in the WNBA, that disguise, it's only temporary. You can only conceal the truth for so long. And the harsh truth is, the WNBA product, it sucks. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, my friends over at The Soapster. And now that I'm thinking about it, the Soapster is the perfect soap for bearded beauties because it doesn't contain chemicals that reduce testosterone. Soaps made by the Soapster contain 0 chemicals, which means when you step out of the shower, you step out with the same toxic masculinity that you stepped into it with. Another nice item offered by the Soapster is their shaving soaps. Now, unlike parishioners at Woke United Methodist who spend their lonely Friday night spanking the wanker, most of the men in my audience, we spend our weekends with our ladies. Do not make the rookie mistake of going out unprepared. The shaving soaps offered by the Soapster, they are perfect for manscaping. Their shaving soap provides a fresh shave that will not only have you looking fresh down there, it'll also have you smelling fresh. And just like the bar soap, the shaving soaps, they contain no harsh chemicals or preservatives. So when you are taking care of your manhood, you don't have to worry about shrinking it. Click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL10, BTL10. Save 10% off your first purchase with the Soapster. Thursday night, WNBA made its immaculate return, officially kicking off the second half of the regular season. Let me ask you something. How many of you guys knew about that? How many of you guys heard about the immaculate return of the dump? Judging by the ratings, No one did. And there's a reason I'm bringing this up. Before the Olympics, the WNBA was a national topic of conversation on damn near a daily basis. I remember back in May and June, I started forcing myself to talk about other topics because I felt like I was talking about the WNBA too much. But it was hard not to at the time. There was major news coming out of the WNBA every day. Now, of course, most of it had absolutely nothing to do with the product on the court. But when you have been overlooked and ignored for 30 years, you take mainstream attention however you can get it. The Olympics should have been the moment for the WNBA. You could not have asked for a better script. You had all the momentum. The eyes of the entire country were on you for the first time ever. Monster ratings for the Star Game, which they erroneously referred to as the All-Star Game. Like I've said before, when you only have one star on the court, it's impossible to have an all-star game. In order to have all stars, you have to have all stars. But anyway, you had all the momentum going into the Olympics. And what does the WNBA do with that momentum? The same thing they have done over the last 30 years. They found a unique way to fuck it up by excluding Caitlin Clark. And look at the consequences. First game back after the Olympics, New York Liberals against the LA Sparkles on ESPN. Now, if you were to believe the media, Sabribri Ionescu is a big star. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Bree Stu plays for the Liberals as well. Don't ask me to name a player on the LA Sparkles. Last time I looked at their roster, I thought I was looking at the payroll at Dollar General. First game back from Olympic break. WNBA, ESPN. 479,000 viewers. Their return was like a juicy fart on a first date. 479,000. That's around 30,000 viewers less than the WNBA was averaging last year. Well, Casey, that's not fair. You're just picking one game and saying WNBA ratings are in the pooper. The WNBA's had 18 games this season that have eclipsed 1 million viewers. Caitlin Clark was involved in 16 of them. And if you want to get technical, you could say Caitlin Clark was involved in 17 because she was the lead-in for one of those other games. And to make matters worse, the WNBA, they are not seeing the financial benefit of this increase in television ratings. While ratings have doubled and in some cases tripled, advertising revenue, it has only increased by 18%. Why? Why do you think that is? Maybe, just maybe, advertisers are questioning whether or not this momentum is sustainable. The WNBA is in a very tough spot right now, and this is why it was so imperative to keep Caitlin Clark in the league in the spotlight during the Olympics. We are 2 weeks away from college football, 3 weeks away from the NFL. Over the past few months, we have seen these virtue signaling messages from the television networks. Proud home of the WNBA. CBS is proud to present pretend basketball. ABC is the only place to see missed layups. Now that football season is starting back, guess who is getting removed from national television? Just take a wild guess. It ain't the Big Ten. It ain't the SEC. ABC's not removing Nebraska, Oklahoma State to make room for the dump divers. ESPN, they are not moving the last few weeks of Major League Baseball season to accommodate the WNBA. Over the final month of the season, the WNBA, they only have 4 games on national television. Caitlin Clark is only featured nationally once. I got a feeling the WNBA is about to see a massive decline in their ratings. And to make matters worse again, the chase for the golden toilet, which starts next month, where the qualifying dumps compete for an opportunity to play in the WNBA finals to secure access to the golden toilet in the bathrooms with running water during the off-season. The vast majority of games during the chase for the golden toilet, they're not airing on ABC and ESPN, damn sure not airing on CBS. Vast majority of the games in the WNBA playoffs, they're going to be broadcast on ESPN2 and ESPNU. I'm sure to the dozen or so diehard fans of the WNBA, that probably seems unfair. But there is a reason that the networks prioritize football over diving. Football guaranteed to draw ratings. Even if Caitlin Clark makes the playoffs, it is going to be a struggle for the WNBA. I know the WNBA has been front and center throughout the summer, but that is about to change. This league is about to be completely overshadowed, and it's already starting to happen. It's easy to be the topic of conversation in June, especially with all the drama that was happening in the WNBA. Easy to be the topic of conversation. But those days are over. Like I said in the beginning, the greatness of Caitlin Clark, it cannot disguise the biggest problem in the WNBA. I know this sounds harsh. I know feminists will accuse me of being a misogynist. You can label me with whatever woke boner word you want. Still doesn't change the fact the WNBA product sucks. It sucks. For some reason, the media has created this atmosphere where the WNBA is supposed to be above criticism. It's similar to what we talked about earlier today with Mina Kimes, how criticism of Mina Kimes is no bueno at ESPN. Over the past couple of years, I have been highly critical of the NFL. NFL teams don't practice like they used to. Training camp preseason, it's been shortened. As a result, the first 4, 6, maybe even 8 weeks of the regular season, it's almost become the new preseason. The quality of play at the quarterback position, it has drastically declined in the last 2 or 3 years in the NFL. Now, when the NFL is criticized, no one is accused of being racist. No one is accused of being a man-hater. Same thing with the NBA. Fans have been complaining about the NBA regular season for years now, and rightfully so. But you don't get charged with violating the woke commandments when you criticize the NBA product. With the WNBA, you could be accused of homophobia, you could be accused of mythical racism, mythical misogyny, if you make fun of Angel Reese for missing a layup. The WNBA has the same problem they have had for the last 30 years, and it's a problem that I don't think has a solution, because I don't know if this league will ever be entertaining. But give me your thoughts on this. The immaculate return of the WNBA was a huge embarrassing failure. Unsurprisingly, there has not been a single mainstream media outlet that have covered these ratings. I wonder why. Now, I believe Caitlin Clark is playing on ABC probably right now as I record this video. Gonna be interesting to see the ratings when they are released. But it just feels like the WNBA is starting to lose momentum, and it's only going to get worse as football season starts and then the NBA. Has the WNBA peaked this season? What we saw from May to early July, is that as good as it's going to get for the WNBA dump? Or will they capture mainstream attention during the playoffs? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.